We're going to talk about how to solve for an angle now. We have done how to solve for a side, so now we're going to solve for angles. So first, let's recap. What are the sides of the triangle? So remember we have from a perspective of an angle, we have the hypotenuse, which is always across from the 90-degree angle. And then we have the adjacent side, which is the other leg of the triangle that makes up the angle. So you've got the hypotenuse and another leg of the triangle, and that is the adjacent side to that angle. And finally, you have the third leg of the triangle that is across the triangle from the angle in question. It's also attached to the hypotenuse because it has to be, but it has nothing to do with the angle that you're talking about, and that is the opposite side. So if we label this triangle from the perspective of angle A, start with the hypotenuse. Of course, AC includes A, so therefore it is the adjacent side. And then, of course, the opposite side is BC, which is not got A in it. We talked about this on the first day. What's the memory aid for primary trig ratios? SOHCAHTOA. And note that in the triangle that we have above, the tangent ratio for the non-right angle, so tan of A, is opposite over adjacent. Which if we're going to label the sides, that would be BC over AC. And so that's how you could label those sides. So note, for every trigonometric ratio, there is also what's called an inverse ratio. And it is these inverse ratios that we use to calculate the angle. So first, we will investigate our calculators. So if you can grab your calculator, there is a second function button at the top left usually. And then you'll notice above your sine, cos, and tan buttons on your calculator, there is a little sine to the -1, cos to the -1, and a tan to the -1. So that's what it looks like on our white calculators. I am talking about these sections up here at the top. Sine, cos, and tan -1, because you can't divide by sine, but you can use the inverse function of sine. So remember that each of the ratios, sine, cos, and tan, represents a relationship between the two sides for any given degree. So this tells me tan of A is 0.3443. So what that tells me is that if the adjacent side is 1, because remember it's opposite over adjacent, and so if the adjacent side has a length of 1, the opposite side would have a length of 0.3443. So now we want to know, what is that angle? Well, we already have the tan ratio, so that's why we use the inverse tan button. So now we say that A, because if you think about it, when I ask you to solve for an equation and I say, okay, so if 2x is equal to 4, what is x? Well, what do? We divide both sides by 2, and we get that x is 2. Well, I can't divide by tan, but I can use the inverse of tan, which is what the calculator knows, that it means that you're asking for what is the angle that makes this ratio possible. And so what we do is we say that A is the inverse tan of 0.3443. And so we pop that into our calculator by pressing second function tan and then 0.3443 and it gives us 18.99, which is basically 19 degrees. Okay, and so now with this next question, it says that the tan of A is 2.2460. So if we drew our triangle, I don't expect you to do this. However, I am hoping that it is a good way to help you logic your way through what's going on here. So now we say that tan A, okay, so if the adjacent side is 1, it means that the opposite side is 2.246 because our ratio, remember, is always opposite over adjacent. So tan of A is saying it's opposite, 2.246, over adjacent, which would be 1, because that's the only way I can get the number 2.246. And so what we do is we say, all right, I need the inverse tan of that 2.246, and that will give me, so we go second function, tan of 2.246 equals 65.999, which is 66 degrees. So this time I am given a triangle, and I've asked to find out what is angle A. So first we set up our tan ratio. And we do that because there's the opposite side and there's the adjacent side, right? So in the last questions, when I gave you the ratio as a decimal, it meant that the adjacent side was 1. Well, in this case, now the adjacent side is 36. And so it's the exact same steps. The only thing is now that since I don't have, so I could do what is 13 divided by 36 and turn that into a decimal. And it's 0.3611111111. So now it's exactly the same. So all I'm doing, remember our similar triangles unit from, so remember from similar triangles that as long as the angles are equal, the sides will be proportional. So if I were to draw another triangle like this that had the opposite side of 1, it means that I'm going to say that all of these angles are the same as this triangle. Even though I don't know what the angles are, I'm telling you that they are the same. That means that the length of this side would be 0.3611. And this is the whole basis of trigonometry, is that similar triangles always have the same relationship between the two sides when given the same angles. So we're going to use our inverse tan. So we're going to say that A is equal to the inverse tan of 0.3611. And that gives us an angle of 20 degrees. Now, please always make sure that you round your degrees to the closest degree. Don't give me decimals. Degrees are already too small. We don't bother with decimals, so always round to the closest degree when you are solving for angles. Here's just another example. I now have, I want to find angle X. So the tan of X, first let's label this triangle opposite, adjacent, and hypotenuse. It is really important that you know what is opposite, what is adjacent, and what is hypotenuse in order to do these questions. So now we're saying that the tan of X is going to be 9 over 32. And we pop that into our calculator by using the inverse tan. Now, I don't usually want you to do the division before you do inverse tan, so I want you to use your bracket. So you have to go inverse tan and then bracket 9 divided by 32, close the bracket, and hit equals. And that gives us the most accurate degree. which is in this case 15.7, which will round to 16 degrees. And that is that triangle, or sorry, at least that angle, solved. Here we have another one. It's also on its side. So we want to know what is the angle of y. This looks like a lot like a ramp. And in these questions, this would be considered the angle of elevation for this ramp. So I've been told, if you want to, I'm going to add some word problem like stuff to this question. It's saying that I have a ramp that is 11 inches high, and it is the base of the ramp is 45 inches from the wall. So first we label the triangle, opposite, adjacent, and hypotenuse. And now because we have opposite and adjacent, we're going to use our tan function. So tan of y is 11 over 45. So to solve for that angle, I use the inverse tan. Buttons, so second function tan, bracket, 11 divided by 45 on the calculator, close the bracket, equals 13.7, or y is 14 degrees. Oh, here's one of those ramp questions. I don't like how it's worded here, I apologize. 20 feet long on the ground, that's not great descriptions. So it means that it's 20 feet from the base of the wall. And what is the angle of elevation of the ramp? Of course, that's what is the angle that it goes up from the ground. We'll just call this one B in this case. This is a right angle. We're going to assume that our wall is perpendicular to the ground, so making a 90-degree angle. So tan of B is, if we label this, remember this is opposite and this is adjacent. So tan of B is going to be 7 over 20. So when we put inverse tan of bracket 7 over 20, close the bracket, into the calculator, I get 19.29, which is rounded to 19 degrees. And now it's your time to go and do your practice, please. Or please remember that labeling the triangle is super important. This, because I now have all the sides, I'm not solving for the side. I'm going to use my inverse tan to solve for the angle.